Hey everyone, this is Adam, and today I'm going to be showing you a quick tutorial on how to export a PowerPoint file from Figma with a video player MP4 embed using the Pitchdeck Presentation Studio Figma plugin. So to get started, all we need to do is go to our Figma file and just click on this little actions icon down the bottom here. And what you want to do is search for Pitchdeck, so that's Pitchdeck. And under the plugins tab, if you click on the Pitchdeck item, you can run the plugin by either clicking on this run button down here, or I'd recommend clicking on the save icon right next to it, which will save the plugin to your plugins list for easy access later. So I've already done that, so I'm going to go back to my Figma canvas, just right click anywhere, go down to plugins, then go down to saved plugins, and then click on the Pitchdeck item. And that's just going to run the plugin that we saved a second ago. So if you're new to the plugin, the way that it works is it basically takes any Figma frames in your Figma file and treats those as slides in the plugin with any child layers in each slide as an individual layer that you can add animations and video embeds and links and things like that on. So for today, I'm just going to be showing you how to embed an MP4 video and export that to a PowerPoint file and be able to play that video in your PowerPoint file directly. So the first thing we need to do is set a thumbnail. So this is going to basically be the static thumbnail image that's going to sit behind the play button in PowerPoint. So I've basically just taken a thumbnail from this trailer over here. So I've got this Dieter Rams documentary trailer. So I've basically just taken a snapshot of this image here, and I've added that to my Figma file as a regular image layer. And importantly, I've matched the aspect ratio of the image to the aspect ratio of the original video as well, just so that all that matches up. Okay, so now that we've got our video thumbnail, what we now need to do is basically just duplicate that. So I'm literally just going to copy paste this layer here, and I'm going to rename this to video embed. So we've got our thumbnail and we've got our embed, and I'm just going to change the fill for that embed just to something solid so we know which one's which. So I'm just basically going to change this over here. And again, you can make this whatever you want. This isn't actually going to show up in the PowerPoint file. This is going to get replaced with a video play button. And all you're going to see is a play button in PowerPoint, and this is going to be sitting behind it. So your video thumbnail is going to be sitting behind that play button, but we need a placeholder layer here, which is going to embed the video. So you can actually just make that something a bit transparent. So you can do a semi-transparent sort of layer instead, but really it's just a placeholder. So once you've added that video embed placeholder, I'm just going to refresh the layers over here by clicking on the refresh button. And you can now see we've got these two layers here. So we've got a video embed layer and a video thumbnail layer. And just to make that a bit easier, I'm just going to remove the prefix. So I'm just going to call this one video, and I'm going to call this one thumbnail, just so we've got a bit more of a easy to access label over here. So we've got our thumbnail layer and our video layer sitting underneath it. So now all we need to do is upload our MP4 file somewhere. So I'd recommend using something like Dropbox. So if you just go to dropbox.com and create a free account there, you'll be able to drag and drop your MP4 video file directly into Dropbox. And that's just going to upload the video file into your Dropbox folder here. And then it's going to allow you to copy a link to that file directly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this copy link button over here, and that's going to generate a link for me directly to that MP4 file in Dropbox and copy it to my clipboard. So I've just got that link copied now to my clipboard. So I'm going to go back to the Figma plugin, and this time we're going to find the video layer. So this is basically the placeholder layer, which we just created on top of the thumbnail. And we're going to paste that URL from Dropbox directly into there. And once that loads up, you should see the video. So you can see it playing back here as a little bit of a preview, and that's looking really good. So now that we've got that added in, I'm just going to go to the export menu. So we're going to go to the top right hand side of the plugin, click on this blue export button up here, and then we want to change the default presentation option from the web URL. So this format basically uploads a shareable web presentation that you can view in the browser and share that link with anyone. But for today, because we're going to be focusing on PowerPoint specifically, we're going to open up that export format drop-down box, go down to presentation apps and click on the PowerPoint option. And now what we want to do is just change one of the settings for our PowerPoint slides options down here. So this option down here called include MP4 video URL embeds, which is currently off by default. So if you leave that off, it'll basically just export this layer here as a static image, and you won't have the actual underlying video embed over here included. It'll just be a static image. But if you do want to include any URL embeds that you've added pointing directly to an MP4 file like the one we just added, you can basically just enable that toggle here before you export your PowerPoint file, and then you just want to click on export for PowerPoint. And what that's going to do is it's going to loop through each of the frames or slides inside of your Figma file. It's going to export all of the text as editable text. It's going to export each of the images in all of your frames. And it's also going to download that entire video that you've just included, and it's going to embed that directly inside of your PowerPoint file. So the video is actually going to be included in the PPTX file, and it's not going to have to get downloaded again by PowerPoint or anything like that. And as we'll see, it's included directly in the file. So once that's exported, you just want to click on the download your PPTX file button here and save that to your computer. So I'm just going to save that to my desktop. And all you need to do to open that is just double click on the file. And if you've got the Microsoft PowerPoint app installed, which supports the MP4 video embeds, if you go to your second slide or whichever slide you've added your video embed on, you'll now see that we've got this play button. So this is something that PowerPoint adds automatically. It's this play overlay button. And you can see that it's basically taking the underlying thumbnail that we added here, and it's adding that into the PowerPoint file. So if we go back to our PowerPoint file over here, you can see that it's basically adding that in. And we can see that by the way this gets dragged and dropped. So if you drag and drop that video overlay, you can see that it's got a slight transparent tint on it at the moment, but this is basically the underlying thumbnail that we added over here. And so now if we play that video, click on the play button down here, that's actually going to play the video directly in our PowerPoint file. So this is totally native to the Microsoft PowerPoint desktop app. This is something that it natively supports. And this is the easiest way to get your video embed from the Figma presentation that we added over here from the Dropbox MP4 file and export that directly out to this PowerPoint file over here. So I believe you can do some more modifications if you want to kind of right click on the video tag. You can do things like edit alt text or format the video itself. So you can do things like increase the brightness or darkness of the video. You can update things like the shape and solid lines and things like that. But for today, I'm just going to be leaving it as is. I kind of like it with the semi-transparent overlay. I think that's actually really nice. And it's basically replicating the similar effect that we did over here when we kind of added our little placeholder. So you may want to kind of figure out what that looks like if you really want to get an accurate version of what that overlay transparency is. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because that's something that PowerPoint just handles anyway. So this is again just a totally empty placeholder layer, and the only image that gets included is the one that you position directly underneath it there. So yeah, that's basically what it looks like. This is a purely native way of doing this. Just be mindful that this is only supported in the Microsoft PowerPoint app, so it's not supported in Google Slides and it's not supported in Keynote at the moment. So yeah, just make sure you're exporting this specifically to be used in Microsoft PowerPoint. Otherwise, the video embed itself probably isn't going to work in many other different applications as well. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope that's helpful. If you've been wondering how to get embedded MP4 videos into your PowerPoint files, if you're designing your slides in Figma, using the Pitchdeck presentation plugin is a really easy way to go about it. And again, you can just upload your MP4 video file to something like Dropbox or another file hosting service of your choice. And the last thing I'll mention is, again, just to make sure that the aspect ratio matches up with your original video. Unfortunately, PowerPoint doesn't support cropping or kind of covering. So for example, if I was to resize this video layer over here and take off the aspect ratio and resize that down to like a square, essentially the video would get compressed down to this little inner size. So the aspect ratio itself would stay the same. So it would look something like this. So if we scale that down as an aspect ratio, the output in PowerPoint would actually look like that if you're using a layer that's square and the video is in this aspect ratio it's basically going to look something like that. And the video is going to be contained within that larger Figma size when you actually go to export that to PowerPoint. So again, that's just a really small reminder to make sure that if you're exporting the videos for the PowerPoint format, you just want to make sure that the aspect ratio of the embed, or the video layer in this case that we've named over here, matches up exactly with the aspect ratio of the original video, just to make sure there's no size differences there. So it's worth being mindful that this only applies to the PowerPoint format. If you're using the web presentation format, you can size them differently, and you can have like a weird aspect ratio like this, and the video will basically cover the video. So we'll actually do something like that instead of containing it like this. But yeah, because we're focusing on the PowerPoint files at the moment, I just wanted to flag that in case you were getting confused by using a different aspect ratio. That's going to be the reason why. It's because PowerPoint just sadly doesn't support doing a fill type cover for their video embeds. But yeah, I'll leave it there for today. Hopefully that's helpful and a quick way to get your MP4 videos out of Figma into a PowerPoint file that you can then play back inside of your PowerPoint presentations in a native way. So thank you as always for watching, and we'll be back soon with more Figma tutorials like this one very soon.